Hi folks, I'm Eric. In case you don't know who I am, we have a YouTube channel my dad and I started back in 2007. We've got over 1,000 videos specifically to teach you how to route freehand carve wood signs with a router. So what we've decided to do is put together this course. I get questions all the time on what's the actual process. So I decided to put together this 7-step course to teach you just the basics of actually the process of how it's done. And we'll go from the wood selection all the way through all 7 steps, and then there'll be a little bit of a bonus at the end. So that's the reason I'm making this course. It's totally free. So you know there's no charge for it. Just watch the 7 steps, and then you can always reach out to me at my that's our website. My email will be in here, so you can always reach out to me with questions. And then you can always go over to the YouTube channel again and watch any of our over 1,000 videos. So anyway, I'm going to come right back, and then we're going to get right into the first step. So stay with us. Okay, so first step. The first thing that you got to do before you can make a wooden sign, you got to have a piece of wood. So I'm going to go through what I really like, what I use. What I stress that you guys do is take what I've showed you here and check and see what you have available to you locally. All this stuff that I have here, well, most of it, I have available locally to me. Most of my signs, most of the wood for my signs, I buy right down at Lowe's and Home Depot. So first things first. Oh, and then the most important thing is moisture. You've got to make sure that your boards are fairly dry. I don't like anything wetter than 12%. So get yourself a little moisture meter and find out what moisture. I like 6, 8, 10, no more than 12%. If you have more than 12%, then you want to dry it out before you start making a sign, because if you have too much moisture in your board, you're going to have issues. And I can go into that at some other time. We have videos on that on the YouTube channel. So first type of wood that I really like is cedar. This is cedar fencing, and this stuff is really inexpensive. It's about I think it's less than $4, a 6-foot picket at most places. So you can see it's got the dog ear on the end, and now this stuff is rough, so there's things that you have to deal with, but in essence you can make a lot of great signs, and I have for years out of this cedar fencing. So definitely check this stuff out. You have to be kind of picky and go through it and make sure it's what you want, but again, I have videos on that as well over on the YouTube channel. So that's what I use for my small signs. Now if I go a little bit bigger, wider than 5 inches, because that's what that is, then I use select pine. This is 1x12 select pine. Again, I get it down at Lowe's or Home Depot. And for signs that I need more width, this is what I normally go with. I can buy this in 4-foot or 8-foot lengths. It's not super cheap, but it's really good material and it makes really, really nice signs. So that's my next option if I can't cut them out of that those pickets. So that's that. Next, if you guys have this available, I don't really have this available to me, but there's a lot of places in the United States. Eastern red or Western red cedar is great stuff to make signs out of. Again, you want it to be dry, but this is really nice material. I wish I had this available to me locally, but I don't. So if you got, and there's a lot of places in the country, in the US, that do. So I wanted to share that. Next, if I'm making big signs that I really want to have some heft to them, some thickness, I buy this redwood, which you guys might not have redwood available to you, but you might have cedar decking. It's the same kind of thing. This is redwood decking that I have available to me here in Arizona. I cut this up and I laminate these pieces together to make big boards. I make big signs out of this stuff all the time. There's knots that you have to deal with, but there's ways to get around that too. Again, I have videos on that. So that's the next thing. If I'm making a big sign, generally I'll use this stuff. Then this is something, this is cherry. Now I don't know, I don't really have much cherry available to me. This just happens to be part of a big load that I got that was kind of just extras from a cabinet shop that went out of business. But cherry works really good. Now I think it's kind of pricey, but if you can go to a cabinet shop and if they've got extra pieces, cherry is a great wood to carve. It carves really consistent, really, it's hard, but it carves very consistent and makes beautiful signs. So cherry is definitely a recommendation of mine, even though I don't really have big pieces of cherry. You might have them where you're at. So there's that. And that's pretty much it. The only other thing is once in a while I will go up to Las Vegas, because we're not that far from Las Vegas, and I will buy some live edge slabs. This is white poplar. If you have white poplar available to you, man, it is one of my favorites. I absolutely love white poplar. This is obviously a live edge slab, so I have limited access to white poplar, but I get it once in a while and I love carving it. But again, on all of this stuff, just got to make sure it's dry. So that's about it. Again, you guys know how to get a hold of me, Eric at makeawoodsign.com. Let's move on to step 2. We'll be right back.